I'm going to be covering the 3 least relevant weapons first. So let's start with the Aerospray. Now the Aerospray PG in the first game got Burst Bomb and Kraken. However, the basic Kraken of this game Baller is already in this Aerospray, but I still think it could get Burst Bomb back. While I don't think Burst Bomb would be super helpful for it, I think it would still be nice as it'd make confirming kills just a little bit easier for it, and it'd give it a nice long-range poking tool. So I think it'd be nice to get Burst Bomb back. Plus, not a single Kensel weapon or Sheldon's pick weapon yet that we know of has gotten Burst Bomb as a sub. And for the special, I think we should give it Booyah Bomb. Basically, giving it the strike that the Gold Aerospray of the first game got would be pretty interesting, and with its ability to do long-range pressure with bursts, Booyah Bomb could be used as maybe a panic button, maybe a way to start pushing in a zone and painting it quickly, something like that, which I think would be interesting for it. Next up is the Sploosh-O-Matic 7, and the Sploosh-O-Matic 7 in the first game got Splat Bomb and Inkzooka. Now, contrary to what you may think, Inkzooka was not actually that good for it. The Neo Sploosh, my bad, of the first game got Kraken, which was a much more helpful special which allowed it to go in aggressively. I do think we can keep Splat Bomb with it as it's still a nice option for approach, poking, etc. For the special, I think it should get Ultra Stamp, basically the idea of a Kraken. But I don't want to give this Baller because we're not trying to make something too similar to Aerospray. Yes, Ultra Stamp is a good deal weaker than Baller, but it still fixed the basic idea of what a Sploosh could be. An aggressive poking sub and an aggressive special that you could even use for long distance pressure, a panic, or just to rush people down in hallways. Yes, I know neither of these two kits are very good, neither of these two weapons are very good, so it doesn't really matter anyway. Alright. And the last of the least relevant weapons we're going to cover right now is Squiffer. While a little bit more relevant than the other two, it's still not very good. But I think first Squiffer could have a bit of an interesting thing with a good sub. So we're going to be giving, I skipped past it, we're going to be giving it Fizzy Bomb. I think Fizzy would be absolutely perfect for Squiffer to get. It would be able to just poke better, it would be able to use partial charges if Fizzy's connected, it'd have a good painting option, a good poking option, and then for this special, we're going to give it Ultra Stamp, because again, the idea of Kraken, like the original first Squiffer had, which had Suction Bomb and Kraken. So Ultra Stamp will fix that there. Please buff Ultra Stamp and Booyah Bomb so these kits can actually be good, that'd be nice. I think this thing could stand a chance with Fizzy Bomb because of how good of a sub-weapon it is. Even if it gets nerfed, it'll probably still be the best sub-weapon in the game like it is right now. So I think it'll be pretty interesting to see how helpful that could be. Alright, now let's get into the weapons that actually have a chance to be notable with their Kensa kits. So, first let's talk about NZAP. Now, the NZAP 83 in the first game had Point Sensor and Kraken. One of these things was great, the other of which was Point Sensor. So, we're going to be ditching the Point Sensor, but we're going to be basically keeping the Kraken premise, so we're going to be giving it Baller, because NZAP deserves to have Baller. It makes it a 2-shot out of its Baller. This is 56 compared to the 55 an outside hit of Baller does, and with its amazing mobility, if you were to actually have run speed on it, it would actually have an easier time comboing out of the Baller than the other shooters like 52 has. So, I think it'd be an interesting pick. For the sub, we're going to be giving it Torpedo. Still has a similar marking thing, but the extra tick damage and paint would blend super well with NZAP. NZAP is a pretty lackluster main weapon in comparison to other shooters. A lot of people say it's not that bad, but it gets outclassed at pretty much everything by every other shooter or dually of its range. So giving it a really amazing kit like this could allow it to stand the test of time and perhaps be able to see some competitive use. I think it would be interesting, I just don't know if it'd be good enough to beat Kensa dualies. Maybe it could be a niche, like NZAP 83 was in the first game. Next, let's talk about the Permanent Ink Brush. Now, also contrary to popular belief, the Ink Brush is actually a pretty solid main weapon. It has some amazing matchups that can completely shut down other weapons, and in Japan there's a good Ink Brush that has seen good top-level usage results. And he's even done some Western tournaments and done well in it as well, because the West struggles against melee weapons, but we'll talk about that another time. Anyway, the two most requested subs for both Ink and Octobrush generally are both Burst Bomb and Curling, and while I debated which one I would rather have it get, in the end I had to go with Curling. Giving it a hypermobility sub along with a hypermobility main weapon allows this thing to skate across the map even faster than it does already, which means its amazing strength and mobility is only further increased into definitely the best in the game. As for the special, well, I have two here that I'm kind of tied with, or one rather. I was tied with the subs with curling or burst, but I think the special it should get is Inkstorm. A bit of tick damage can be really helpful for securing the kill, as it does 30 damage, so just a little bit of extra damage could allow a 3-hit to be possible. And I think that could be really helpful with Ink Rush, where its damage is kinda lacking. I think it would make it a lot more interesting, and it could also make hitting range flicks actually somewhat useful if they can do tick damage for the Storm. On top of that, Inkstorm on a zone with an Ink Rush painting it is absolutely volatile and can cap it very easily, which could be quite threatening on some maps. I think it'd be a really interesting niche for the weapon. Next up is the Bamboo Mach 3, and I will be frank, the Bamboo has yet to get a single good kit in this game. Despite having an amazing main weapon, the Bamboo has been stuck with garbage after garbage after... Oh, it finally got... And it has Strike and Heavy Depletion too. Oh god, they're giving it missiles. Oh god, they gave it a special worsted missiles. How did they do that? So, we're going to be giving it a good kit. I'm going to be giving the Bamboo Mach 3 Torpedo because I think it'd be absolutely great for marking opponents and being able to hit them, and Bamboo combos off the tick damage amazingly. For the special, there's two I'm kind of tied with, either Inkstorm or Ink Armor. Inkstorm, for similar reasons, is the Permabrush, except it could take advantage of that tick damage from a larger distance. And Ink Armor would be amazing because of how well Bamboo paints. It could allow it to get Ink Armor quite frequently. Though please make it like 200, 210, 220 with it, because god damn it, we don't need more Ink Armor spamming weapons. It's fine to have good weapons with Ink Armor, but please don't make them spam it as their only real strength. It's so annoying. Alright, next, let's get into the Soda Slosher. Now, the Soda Slosher got Splat Bomb and Inkzuka in the first game, and it was a super underrated kit. Splat Bomb allowed it to combo just like the Slosher does with Suction Bomb, but with a much more viable sub to combo with. Slosher hitboxes, there we go. So Splat Bomb could allow it to do it better. So I literally want to give it the exact same kit in this game, just replacing Zuka with Inkjet. And I think it'd be a really interesting combination. Jet isn't in the best spot right now, but it can still work in the right situation. And I think giving a bomb combo to Slosher in this game would be absolutely amazing. Technically it has one with Suction right now, but this has this. Yeah. I actually like that a lot of the Sheldons picks that are here are either bad weapons or weapons that are stuck with missiles as one of their variants, so it kind of helps boost them and give them an actual kit, assuming they don't buff missiles. Next, Grim Range Blaster. Not going to beat around the bush. This got Burst Bomb in Splat 1 and deserves to have Burst Bomb in this game. Now, Burst wasn't even broken with it in the first game if you actually knew the game competitively, but what about this game? Well, in this game, the direct damage radius does less. You get 11 shots instead of 14. Burst Bomb's Ink Saber sub stacks worse. And Burst Bomb's just overall worse in this game than the first one. Same for Range. Range also has Jump RNG, which makes comboing with Burst extremely hard. I can't find Range Blaster to save my life. Where are the blasters? There they are. Thank you. Anyway. Burst still wouldn't be able to combo with it so well. As you can see by these hits here, a medium direct would not actually too much combo. It would leave them close to death, so I think it'd be pretty fair. You'd have to run pretty ink-heavy kits with this weapon. A lot of ink sub and ink main. I think it'd be a nice niche. Overall, Range really does need a good kit in this game, so I think it'd be nice to give it that. As for the special, a lot of people are saying Stingray. I say fuck no. Giving an aggressive weapon Stingray is a mistake. And I also debated giving this weapon Splat Bomb. So how about giving it Splat Bomb Launcher so it can combo off the Splat Bombs, and it also gives it a painting and aggressive tool, helping to mitigate its weaknesses. I think this would be a really interesting Range Blaster kit. Next up, the good old Cherry H3. Oh, H3. Pretty simple with this one. I wanted to get Toxic Mist and Inkstorm. Inkstorm would help if you land 2 hits, so it'd do a good amount of damage, especially now that damage up exists. Landing only 2 hits is actually kind of hard. Excuse me. Yeah, landing 2 hits is hard, but you get the idea. You could land 2 hits and it could combo with Inkstorm well. It helps to boost its amazing painting capabilities on things like zones, and it'd overall be interesting. Toxic Mist would allow opponents to be a lot slower, which would make H3 have a way easier time landing 3-shot bursts, so it would take advantage of using Mist and then following it up with your main weapon, as well as abusing Storms to put aggressive pressure in and take advantage of 2-hit kills. I think it'd be a really interesting aggressive option for H3. While H3D is super passive, I think that one could be more aggressive, which is overall a lot more fun. Lastly, we have the Heavy Remix. As you can tell by what I said about Torpedo in the beginning and that 2 of each weapon need to have it, you already know I'm planning to give this weapon Torpedo. I think a long-range weapon with Torpedo could be interesting. Because Torpedo takes a while to actually travel towards opponents, Heavy could get a charge ready in time and combo off of it. It could also allow Heavy to find opponents and boost its painting power. As for the special, well, Booyah Bomb. While it may not seem super amazing with it, it could help a little bit in close quarters combat, give it a nice painting tool in the zone for it to push in, and I think it'd just be an interesting choice. And that's all the weapons. Thank you guys for watching. Let me know what you guys want to see with all these weapons in the future. And honestly, I hope we get Sheldons Picks Volume 2 with a bunch of Splatoon 2 weapons getting a Sheldons Pick variant. Overall, super happy to get more weapons in this game, and it was definitely something we could have used. Looking forward to the patch, looking forward to these weapons, and we'll see what happens. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you in another video. Bye-bye.